All right, well, we want to begin with this breaking news out of the Middle East. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff is in Israel right now and has been holding talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu this morning. He's looking at these fresh new pictures. And this visit comes as international pressure mounts on Israel over the worsening humanitarian situation in Gaza. Yesterday, Canada announced it would recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly coming up in September, and they're joining France, the UK, and other countries in that pledge. CBS contributor Robert Berger has more for us and joins us now from Jerusalem. Good morning, Robert. What do we know about Steve Witkoff's morning meetings and his specific objectives today?
Well, he met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and the purpose of the visit is to try to get ceasefire talks back on track. A couple of weeks ago, both Israel and the U.S. pulled out of the talks and blamed Hamas for basically refusing to make a deal. There's been a deal on the table for a 60-day ceasefire and the release of about 10 living Israeli hostages for a long time, but Hamas hasn't gone for it. And so the question is, what do the U.S. and Israel do now? Because Hamas is clearly in no hurry to make a deal. You have a lot of international pressure on Israel right now, with nations recognizing a Palestinian state, with the pictures of hunger coming out of Gaza. So the question is, what does Israel and the U.S. do now? Does Israel make more concessions at the negotiating table, or perhaps more military pressure by stepping up attacks in Gaza? Neither of those tactics have worked so far.
And Robert, Israel has taken the position that it doesn't want to negotiate with Hamas. It's a terror organization. Netanyahu wants to see it eliminated. So now that we're looking at Canada and other states looking to recognize a Palestinian state, how might that add to the complicated picture? I understand as part of these agreements, Hamas would not be a part of any future Palestinian state, but how might Israel and the U.S. react to that?
Well, Israel and the U.S., but especially Israel, is really angry about this. It's being called a tsunami of political pressure now on Israel. We have major countries in Europe, France, Britain, Canada, Portugal, a lot of countries, Australia, all coming on board now to recognize a Palestinian state when at the UN General Assembly in September. Now, Israel is saying that this is a reward for terror, for the October 7th attacks. Launch what the Israelis call a genocidal attack on Israel, and you'll be rewarded with a state. So far, the voice that really counts in all of this, President Trump, is backing Israel and opposing this move for a Palestinian state.
Now, there are political organizations that do represent Palestinians, and what's interesting is at this moment, the Trump administration has just announced that it is blocking officials with the Palestine Liberation Organization and Palestinian Authority, that's the PA and the PLO, from getting U.S. visas for the UN General Assembly. Can you help us understand that?
Yeah, these sanctions just announced a short time ago, and the U.S. State Department accusing the Palestinian Authority of supporting terrorism. For instance, they say paying stipends to families of terrorists who have carried out attacks against Israel, and also bringing Israel to international forums like the International Criminal Court in The Hague and accusing the Israelis of war crimes, which the U.S. says is a violation of the terms of peace. And so the problem with all of this is that Europe and the Arab states basically see the Palestinian Authority as the only viable alternative to Hamas in post-war Gaza, but neither Israel nor the U.S. are going for that.
Such a complicated picture. Robert Berger helping break it down for us. Robert, thank you.